The stars sparkled above Earth, peaceful and calm. But something unseen moved beyond them. A fleet of ships, cold and silent, drifting toward the blue planet. Inside the largest ship, Commander Vec of the Scifi race stood tall. His silver skin glowed softly under the dim lights of the command room. His sharp eyes watched Earth through the large glass panel before him. "The elders always warned us," Vec muttered, his voice steady but curious. "Never engage with humans." He paused, then smiled coldly. But what could be so dangerous about them? The warning was old, passed down for generations, yet no elder ever explained why. Vec believed the elders feared humans without reason. To him, humans were a young species, barely reaching beyond their moon. Scifi ships could cross galaxies. Their weapons could split planets. Vec saw only one possible outcome: victory. A younger officer, Ryan, approached and bowed. "Commander, Earth scans complete. Their defenses are primitive." Vec's smile widened. "Good. Begin Phase 1. Let's see how these humans respond." On Earth, Paul Reed sat inside the Global Space Observation Center, sipping his third coffee. He had spent hours tracking strange signals from deep space. The signals pulsed in patterns, too perfect to be natural. Suddenly, alarms blared. Paul's heart raced as his screen flashed with warnings. Unidentified objects, hundreds of them, were entering Earth's orbit. He quickly called his supervisor. "Sir, we have visitors," Paul said, his voice tense. Within minutes, news spread worldwide. Every nation saw the giant vessels above their skies, smooth, silver crafts that hovered without sound. People panicked, and cities fell into chaos. But no beams of destruction came. The ships remained still, as if watching. Then, a deep, calm voice echoed across every device on Earth. Televisions, radios, phones, and even old speakers that hadn't worked in years. "Humans, we are the Scifi. Your planet has valuable resources. Offer them peacefully, and we will share our knowledge. Refuse, and we will take them by force." The world held its breath. The message ended, and silence returned, heavy and cold. The Council of Earth. Leaders from every nation joined a global call. Faces were tight with fear, but also with determination. President Clark of the United Americas spoke first. "We can't win a war against them," she said firmly, "but surrendering everything isn't an option either." A scientist from Asia, Dr. Patel, added, "Their technology is beyond ours, but they are communicating. Perhaps they don't want to destroy us. Perhaps they're testing us." Paul, granted a rare audience for discovering the signals, leaned into his microphone. "I don't think they understand us. If they did, they'd know humans don't break under threats. We push back." The leaders agreed. No immediate surrender. They would stall for time and learn more. A message was sent. "Scifi, we welcome peace. Let us meet and understand your needs." On the Scifi ship, Vec read the reply. His eyes narrowed. "They stall," he said flatly. Typical of weaker species, hiding behind words. Ryan hesitated. "Commander, the humans are unusual. Their communication is quick. Their world is unified in response. Maybe the elders' warning." Vec cut him off. "The elders are fools. They've grown soft. I see no threat here. Deploy ground scouts. We will take what we want. Quickly." Earth's surface, the first landing. At dawn, massive silver crafts descended to fields and city outskirts. Scifi troops emerged, tall, metallic-skinned, with armor that shimmered like the sky. But instead of attacking, they scanned the land, collecting samples. In a small town, Paul stood with local authorities, watching from afar. He noticed something strange. The Scifi seemed uninterested in harming people. They avoided homes and only scanned resources: water, minerals, plants. "Look," Paul said urgently, "they're not here for war." They're harvesting. But before anyone could stop them, a frightened civilian threw a homemade explosive at the aliens. Smoke erupted. The Scifi soldiers flinched but did not fire back. Instead, their armor shimmered, and the explosion vanished into thin air. Ryan, observing from above, spoke into Vex's channel. Humans are unpredictable. One attacks, but the others. Vex's voice was cold. No retaliation. Continue the harvest. But if they strike again, show them why the elders feared us. The growing tension. Around the world, similar scenes unfolded. The Scifi gathered resources, but never harmed a single human, even when attacked. Social media exploded with confusion. Some demanded to fight. Others saw an opportunity to communicate. Paul, analyzing the Scifi patterns, felt a knot in his stomach. They're testing something. But what? Then he found it. Every location the Scifi visited had one thing in common: abundant natural energy. It wasn't Earth's land they wanted. It was Earth's secrets, its life force. Paul sent a warning to world leaders. They don't want war or peace. They want to understand how we survive. They're studying us. But what if they discover that humans are stronger than they ever imagined? In the Scifi command room, Vex stood still, reading new scans. Earth's energy patterns were chaotic, but powerful. Nothing like any planet they had seen. And human behavior, illogical but resilient. His chest felt a strange tightness. The elders said never to fight humans. Vex whispered, his voice almost thoughtful. Perhaps they feared more than human weapons. Perhaps they feared what humans become when challenged. Ryan's voice broke the silence. Commander, should we proceed with force? Vex's silver eyes burned with resolve. No, let's push them and see what happens next. The sun rose over Earth, but peace did not come with it. The Scifi ships hovered like silent watchers, their intentions unclear. Across the world, tension grew. People waited for the next move, from the aliens or their own leaders. In the Global Space Observation Center, Paul Reed stared at his screen, his coffee long forgotten. His fingers moved quickly, analyzing every bit of Scifi activity. They're not attacking, but they're not leaving either, he muttered. A voice broke through his headset. It was President Clark from the Global Council. Paul, we're getting pressure from all sides. Some leaders want to attack first. Others want to negotiate. What's your read? Paul's voice was firm. They're watching us, studying how we react. If we attack recklessly, they'll crush us. But if we do nothing, they'll take what they want without asking. Clark sighed. So what do you suggest? Paul thought for a second. We need to show them what humanity really is. Not with violence, with something they won't expect. On the Scifi flagship, Commander Vex stood before a large hologram of Earth, his silver eyes sharp. Humans confuse me, he said aloud. They fight, but they also cooperate. They fear us, but they still try to talk. It's chaotic. Ryan, his second in command, spoke carefully. The elders warned us because humans are unpredictable. Their weakness and strength come from the same place, their hearts. Vex's gaze hardened. Then let's test that heart. Prepare a message. Offer them a simple choice. The Scifi broadcast. All over Earth, every screen flickered, and the calm, metallic voice of the Scifi echoed. Humans, we will give you one chance. Prove your strength without war. In 3 days, we will occupy a land rich with your resources. If you can hold it without destroying it, we will negotiate. If you fail, we take it, and more. The screen changed, showing a location. The Amazon rainforest. The global response. The world erupted. Protests filled streets. News anchors debated. Social media overflowed with arguments. But the Global Council acted quickly. They declared, no weapons, no war, but we will not surrender. Paul found himself on a flight to Brazil, joining a team of scientists, engineers, and volunteers. He wasn't a soldier, but he knew one thing. If the Scifi wanted to see human strength, they would see it in human unity. The rainforest frontline, the Amazon buzzed with life. But now it buzzed with humans too. Engineers built barriers using natural materials, careful not to harm the forest. Scientists prepared ways to disrupt Scifi scanners with electromagnetic pulses from harmless solar devices. Volunteers stood side by side, ready to protect the land with their own hands if needed. Paul felt both hope and fear as he watched people from different nations, different languages, all working as one. Then the sky darkened. The Scifi ships arrived. The first encounter. The ships didn't fire. They hovered, and from their bellies descended sleek machines, harvesters, scanning and collecting soil and plants. The air hummed with alien technology. Suddenly, vines and roots began to rise, thanks to devices planted by the human engineers. They entangled the machines, slowing them down without breaking them. The Scifi ships tried to scan, but the solar devices sent bursts of harmless interference. From above, Ryan reported to Vec. They fight without weapons. They defend without destroying. It's strange. Vec's eyes narrowed. Strange, but clever. The Scifi's push. The machines adapted, cutting through vines with beams of light. But the humans didn't give up. They formed lines, men, women, and children, singing, chanting, standing firm. Paul moved through the crowd, encouraging people. Stay together. Let them see our strength is not in our weapons, but in our spirit. The harvesters paused. Scanners flickered as they read something unexpected. Human energy. A force not from weapons or machines, but from unity. Vec's confusion. On the flagship, Vec's hand tightened around the console. They block us with nature, with sound, with each other. What are they doing? Ryan's voice was soft. They're protecting their world, without harming ours. A risky move. Suddenly, one of the human devices overloaded. A bright spark erupted, and a tree near the harvesters caught fire. The humans panicked. Paul ran forward, yelling, "Stop the fire! Protect the forest!" But before the humans could act, a Scifi drone flew over the flame. A beam of cold light shot out, and the fire vanished. Frozen, then gone. The people froze, unsure what it meant. Paul looked up, locking eyes with the drone's scanner. "You saved it," he whispered. "The test ends. For now." The Scifi harvesters stopped. The ships hummed, then began to rise back into the sky. The humans waited, holding their breath. Then the Scifi's voice returned. "Humans, you chose to defend, not destroy. You fought with nature, not against it. We will not take this land. But the test is not over. We will return. Show us more of what makes you human." In the sky, Ryan faced Vec. "Commander, they passed, didn't they?" Vec's eyes burned with something new, not anger, but curiosity. "They passed, this time. But I wonder, how far can a human heart go when truly pushed? On Earth." Paul stood among the people, his chest heaving from exhaustion, his heart full of pride. "They wanted to see humanity's strength," he said softly. "And we showed them, but I don't think they've seen it all." The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with gold and purple. The Amazon rainforest, now calm after the Scifi's test, felt alive with whispers of what had happened. Humans had stood together without weapons, and the Scifi had withdrawn, but not in defeat. Inside the Scifi flagship, Commander Vec paced the command room, his silver eyes sharp with thought. "They defended without destruction," he muttered, "but was it strength or luck?" Ryan, his second in command, stood nearby. "The humans surprised us," he said carefully. "Perhaps the elders feared their spirit, not their weapons." Vec's gaze was cold. "Spirit means nothing without power. We need to know their limits. If they won't fight us with weapons, let's see how they fight when the battle is inside them." Ryan's brow lifted. "You mean Vec nodded. Begin the pulse. Let's test their minds, not their hands. The silent attack. From the Scifi ships, an invisible wave spread across Earth. It carried no heat, no light, only a frequency, soft and cold, that touched every human heart and mind. At first, nothing changed. But then, in the Global Space Observation Center, Paul Reed rubbed his temples. A dull ache throbbed behind his eyes. Around him, other operators looked the same, tired, distracted. Screens flickered, and data streams became messy. Something's wrong, Paul mumbled. But what? Suddenly, his phone buzzed with a call from his sister, Anna. Her voice trembled. Paul, I can't think straight. Everyone around me, arguing, fighting over nothing. Paul's stomach dropped. He turned to his screen and saw live footage from cities worldwide. People shouting, pushing, chaos rising without reason. The hidden battle begins. Across Earth, confusion grew. Friends argued. Families fought. Leaders clashed. And no one knew why. But the forests, the oceans, the mountains, all remained untouched. The planet itself was safe. Only the hearts of humans were burning with unrest. Paul's realization. Paul's hands shook as he typed, scanning every frequency from space. Then he found it. A strange signal, a pulse threading through the airwaves. His heart pounded. There, attacking our minds, he whispered, not our bodies. The Human Council, falling apart. In the Global Council chamber, leaders shouted over one another. Old alliances cracked. Fear ruled their hearts. President Clark, her voice strained, tried to calm them. This is what they want, for us to break ourselves. But no one listened. In the Scifi command room, Ryan watched Earth's chaos from above. They're breaking without a single weapon, he observed. Is this victory, Commander? Vec's lips pressed tight. Not yet. Victory is when they fall, and do not rise. Paul's stand. Paul knew he couldn't fight a signal with force, but maybe he could fight it with something stronger. He activated every global broadcast, his face appearing on screens worldwide. His voice, calm but urgent, filled the air. Humans, listen, they are not breaking our cities. They are breaking us. But we are stronger together. Look around, your friends, your family. Remember why we fight. For each other. His words cut through the noise like light through a storm. The human spirit awakens. Slowly, people paused. A mother stopped arguing with her son and hugged him instead. Neighbors who had shouted in anger now helped each other stand. In the council chamber, leaders fell silent, the fog of confusion lifting. The signal had no power against love, against care, against the unbreakable thread that made them human. The Scifi's shock. On the flagship, Ryan's voice was filled with disbelief. They resisted, without shields, without weapons, only each other. Vec's jaw clenched. Impossible. But in his chest, something unfamiliar stirred. Not anger, but respect. The test ends, for now. The pulse from the Scifi ships stopped. The world grew still. Then, once more, the Scifi voice echoed. Humans, you are different. We saw no weapons, but we saw your greatest power. You fought not with your hands, but with your hearts. We withdraw, for now. But the test is not over. We will return to learn more of what makes you human. Paul's promise. Paul, exhausted but steady, looked up at the sky. Come back whenever you want, he whispered, his voice firm. You'll learn that humanity's strength has no end. The earth was calm, but the people were not. The Scifi had left, but their words remained. The test is not over. Humanity knew they would return, but when and how? In the Global Space Observation Center, Paul Reed had barely slept. He stared at his screen, scanning for any sign of the Scifi. His fingers tapped nervously on the desk. Suddenly, his screen flashed. Unidentified object. Approaching Earth. He read aloud. His heart pounded. They're back. The object was small, no larger than a car, and it landed softly, in the middle of a desert. No attack, no broadcast, just waiting. A strange invitation. Within minutes, the world's leaders debated. Is it a trap? Is it peace? But the decision came quickly. President Clark announced, "We will send a team, not soldiers, but scientists and thinkers. This is not war. This is understanding." Paul's phone buzzed. It was President Clark herself. "Paul, you're going." His eyes widened. "Me? You've faced them before. You understand them. And you speak from the heart." The journey to the unknown. The sleek transport sped through the desert. With Paul were Mira, a biologist, and Tom, an engineer. As they approached the object, they saw it clearly. A silver, egg-shaped pod. It pulsed softly with a gentle blue light. Paul stepped forward. "Hello," he called, knowing the Scifi were listening. "We've come to understand." The pod shimmered, and a soft voice echoed, "Enter." Inside the pod, the walls glowed softly as the three humans stepped inside. Suddenly, the floor vanished from under them, yet they did not fall. They floated, surrounded by stars. Then a figure appeared, a Scifi, but it was not like the ones Paul had imagined. This one seemed smaller, softer, younger. Its voice, though soft, carried power. "I am Kyra. I watch, and I wonder. You humans confuse us. You break, but you heal. You fight, but you protect. I wish to learn more." A conversation of worlds. Paul's voice was steady but careful. "We don't understand you either. You test us. But why?" Kyra's silver eyes softened. "Long ago, the elders met a species like yours. They fought with machines and destroyed everything. We learned to end conflict before it begins. But you are different." Mira spoke gently. "We don't want to fight, but we will always protect each other." Kyra tilted her head. "You protect, even strangers. Why?" Paul smiled softly. "Because that's what makes us human." A new test, from the heart. The stars around them shifted, and suddenly they stood on a battlefield. But it was not Earth. Scifi soldiers clashed with shadowy figures, creatures of smoke and light. Kyra's voice echoed. "This was our past. We fought and lost many. Now show me. If this was your world, what would you do?" Paul's choice. A cry rang out. A Scifi soldier, trapped beneath fallen debris, struggling. Paul's body moved before his mind did. He ran to the soldier, grunting as he lifted the heavy beam. "Come on. I've got you," he gasped. Mira and Tom rushed to help. Together, they freed the soldier, whose silver eyes met Paul's in shock. The battle faded, and they stood once more in the pod. Kyra's realization. Kyra's voice was soft, but full of wonder. "You saved an enemy." Paul's chest heaved. "Because life is precious. We don't help because of sides. We help because we care." A long silence. Then Kyra spoke. "You are what the elders feared, but also what they hoped for." A message to the elders. Kyra's form glowed brightly. "I will tell the elders of your heart. The test is not over, but you have passed mine." The pod shimmered, and suddenly the three humans found themselves back in the desert. The pod was gone. The world listens. Paul, Mira, and Tom shared their story with the world. And the world felt hope. But Paul's heart was steady. "The Scifi will return," he said softly. "But next time, it won't be a test. It will be something more." In the stars, Kyra stood before the elders, her voice clear and firm. Humans are more than weapons, more than war. They are heart, and I believe they are not our enemy, but perhaps something more. The eldest Scifi, his eyes ancient and knowing, spoke. Then let us prepare for something new, not battle, but understanding. The world waited for the Scifi's return, but days turned into weeks, weeks into months. No ships, no messages, just silence. Paul Reed, Mira, and Tom remained ready. They knew the Scifi were watching, but something felt wrong. A sudden distress signal. At the Global Space Observation Center, Paul's screen flashed red. A new signal, but not from Earth. Paul called Mira. It's from a Scifi ship. The voice was broken, full of static. This is Kyra. Help. Us. Unknown. Enemy. Attacking. We can't. The signal vanished. A choice beyond fear. The world's leaders argued. Why should we help? Some asked. They tested us. They threatened us. But President Clark's voice was clear. They reached out to us. Humanity does not abandon those in need. A mission to the stars. Paul, Mira, and Tom boarded the Horizon, a sleek ship built with both human and Scifi technology. Kyra had shared knowledge in their last meeting. As the ship soared into the stars, Paul's voice was steady. We don't know what's out there, but we will not turn away. The silent battlefield. Reaching the signal source, their hearts sank. Scifi ships, broken and scattered. No enemy in sight, only silence. Suddenly, an alarm blared. Incoming vessel. Paul's hands tightened on the controls. Prepare for contact. A new enemy appears. The massive black ship emerged. Its surface shimmered as if made of shadows. No weapons fired, but Paul felt something strange. A cold whisper in his mind. Paul. Mira's voice shook. I can't think. My memories. The enemy was not attacking their ship. It was attacking their minds. A battle of willpower. Paul gritted his teeth. Stay with me. He closed his eyes, focusing on what mattered. His family, his friends, Earth, humanity. The cold whispers grew loud, then cracked. The enemy hesitated. A call to the Scifi. Suddenly, Kyra's voice broke through. Paul, you came. We're here, Paul said firmly. But who are they? Kyra's voice was weak but clear. They are the hollow. They consume, not with fire, but with fear, united for survival. Paul's voice rang strong. Kyra, fight with us. Together. A moment's pause. Then, Scifi ships, damaged but ready, joined formation with the Horizon. The power of humanity. The hollow pressed harder, filling their minds with terror. But Paul's voice burned through the darkness. You will not break us. The ship, powered by both human resolve and Scifi technology, pulsed with energy, and a blinding light shattered the shadows. Victory from understanding. The hollow vanished, not destroyed, but driven away. And the battlefield was silent once more. A new beginning. Kyra's voice, full of wonder. You fought, not with weapons, but with heart. Paul smiled softly. That's humanity. The stars were peaceful, but Paul, Mira, and Kyra knew it was only silence before the storm. The hollow had retreated, but not forever. A shared warning. On board the Horizon, Kyra's voice was calm but firm. The hollow never vanish. They return. Stronger. Paul nodded. Then we must be ready. Mira added, humans and Scifi, together, back to Earth. The ship landed, and for the first time, Kyra stepped onto Earth's soil. The sky, the wind, the life. It was unlike anything she had known. "Your world," she whispered. "It shines." But her silver eyes grew serious. "The hollow will come. Here." A call to unity. Paul and Kira stood before the world leaders. Kyra spoke, her voice clear. "The hollow. Consume worlds. Alone you fall. Together we stand." President Clark's voice rang with resolve. "Earth stands with the Scifi, preparing for the fight." Humans and Scifi worked side by side. New shields, stronger ships, combining heart with knowledge. Mira led a science team, blending Scifi power with human creativity. Kyra taught pilots, human and Scifi, how to fight the Hollow's whispers. The Hollow returns. The sky cracked. Darkness poured from the heavens. Ships, too many to count. Paul's voice rang through the comms. "All units, hold the line." The Hollow's shadows reached for their minds. Cold, whispering fears. The heart of humanity. But this time, humanity stood. Their memories, their dreams, their hearts became a shield. The Hollow pushed harder, but Earth pushed back. Kyra's choice. Suddenly, the Hollow's voice echoed to Kira alone. "You are not human. Join us." Her heart trembled. But then, she heard Paul's voice, full of trust. "Kyra, we stand with you." Her silver eyes blazed. "I choose them." A beam of Scifi and human power, heart and light, shot through her. The Hollow screamed. Then, silence. The Hollow's defeat. The sky cleared. Earth stood. Humanity stood. Paul, his voice soft. "We did it." Kyra, her voice warm. Together. The battle was over. The Hollow were gone. Earth stood silent beneath a golden sky. But Paul, Mira, and Kira knew this was only the beginning. In the aftermath, ships, both human and Scifi, floated above Earth, damaged but still flying. Soldiers helped each other, human lifting Scifi, Scifi aiding human. No longer enemies. Now, allies. Kyra's silver eyes reflected the sunrise. "Your world," she whispered, "fights with heart. It is beautiful." A world changed forever. At the Global Space Observation Center, Paul, Mira, and President Clark stood before the world's leaders, human and Scifi alike. Paul's voice was steady. "We stood together, and we won. But the Hollow may return. We must remain one." Kyra added, her voice firm, "My people once feared humans, but now we trust you. Together we are stronger." The room was silent. Then President Clark spoke. "Earth accepts this alliance. Today, we become one voice." The alliance. Human and Scifi scientists worked together, building ships that blended knowledge and heart. Mira led the research team, smiling at the harmony. This is how the future should be. Kyra taught human pilots the ways of the stars, while Paul trained Scifi soldiers in the power of will and courage. A warning from the stars. But peace did not last. A deep signal echoed from space, a voice. The Hollow. But this time, it was different. "We felt your heart. We do not understand, but we will return to see. A mission beyond war." Kyra's voice was calm. "The Hollow do not understand life. They only take because they do not know." Paul's heart was steady. "Then we show them, not with weapons, but with who we are. The journey together." Paul, Mira, Kyra, and a crew of both humans and Scifi boarded the horizon. But now, the ship was something more, built from two worlds, powered by one heart. As the engines hummed, Paul's voice was soft. Let's go. Together. The hollow awaits. Through the stars they traveled, until they reached the hollow's world, a place of shadows and silence. The hollow spoke. Why do you come? We are enemies. Paul's voice was calm, but firm. No, we are people. Kyra's voice followed. You take. But have you ever received the gift of humanity? Suddenly, memories flowed from Paul, Mira, and Kira. Memories of laughter, love, and hope. The hollow paused. This feeling. We do not know this. A shift in the stars. A soft light, faint but warm, glowed from the hollow's core. You share instead of take. This is new. A new path. The hollow's voice softened. We will not fight. We will learn. Paul, his heart full, replied, then, let's learn, together, the beginning of something greater. The stars, once a battlefield, became a bridge, and humanity, once feared, became hope.